Does it hurt a lot? Asked the boy, his eyes clouded with concern. No, the girl answered softly, her gaze shifting from the night sky above to the boy cradled in her arms below. You're a terrible liar, retorted the boy, his eyes focused on the blood-stained cloth wrapped tightly around her left arm. Maybe she'll share a secret or two, the boy hoped. With that faint hope in mind, the boy asked another question. Do you think you could tell me what you think about when you look at the stars? The boy asked in anticipation, like a child longing to hear his mother tell him a bedtime story. I wasn't looking at the stars, she answered. Then what are you looking up there for? Asked the boy, forcing himself to speak through the excruciating pain he experienced. A possibility. A possibility? Repeated the boy. Possibility for us to realize how powerless we really are. What I look for among the stars is possibly for compassion. People need to encounter something much bigger than themselves to fully understand. True compassion. This world will understand someday. Hey guys, so I'm here with a game called Milestone. It's actually a visual novel about two girls who go on the adventure of a lifetime. It's about a princess and her bodyguard, I guess. But this appears to be in sort of a sci-fi type of world. I haven't played this before, but the art has certainly captured my attention, and I hear that it's a really great story that you get really attached to the character, so that's what I'm kind of excited about. And I understand that visual novels aren't for everyone, but since I'm all caught up with my favorite webcomics and animes, I thought, I'd give this a try since, the weather's turning cold and it'd just be nice to curl up with a good book or an anime. And so I thought, why not both? Let's combine it and play a visual novel. So with that said, let's start. In a time of yore, humankind had discovered mana, a naturally occurring energy source that long pulsed through the crust of the world. Humankind utilized mana from the land to craft and create any and all. The art of manifesting mana was known as manacraft. A hunter could use pyrocraft to kill and cook their catch or quarry. An apothecary could use aquacraft to increase the potency of healing potions. A carpenter could use terracraft to strengthen the foundation of a home. There also existed manacraft, which were hereditary, unique only to certain individuals. The Path Down. The Path Down uses mana as a medium to transfer the memories and experiences of the present ruler to the future heir to the throne. Humankind would deem those in possession of hereditary manacraft to be monarchs. The propagation of the old king's wisdom through the Path Down was evidence enough to cement a country's reputation as a formidable manacraft monarchy. Centuries ago, hell-bent on expanding their sphere of influence, the manacraft monarchies started the period of exploration. Even the great seas were no match for their ambitions. The research of manacraft was okay. The populist survival drove one monarchy to expansion. Stagnant economy, the reason for another. Ambition drew many others. In the present day, the development of mana-facilitated communication revolutionized an already altered world. This form of communication was known as okay. People were no longer restricted by the pace of couriers to carry written messages. Long-distance communication became accessible to the masses. Education and knowledge became abundant. Secularism grew in popularity among the general public. Enlightenment was abundant in this new era, ushered forth by Comcraft. Comcrafte? Oh, dear. Renowned pacifist kingdom of, further prevailed the Comcraft's convenience. Yeah, I'm just going to miss most of this anyway. Tragedy. Blood spill. Over 60 years. Let's just summarize each one. Okay, so I got the gist. That was a little fast, and I didn't really expect that, but I got the gist. They have mana in the earth, and they've been using it as a natural resource. Different occupations use different kinds of mana crafting, etc., etc. Causes destruction, the special kind of mana crafting. Gotcha. Okay. Anyway. Rosenheide Castle, the great hall to the Sky Terrace. A spark shot and flames spread throughout the great hall. A small shadow ascended to the spiral staircase to the Sky Terrace. Options? Okay. I am the one who's reached the top of the castle first. A girl who appeared no older than a child spearheaded the assault of the Rosenheide Castle and was the first to arrive at the highest point of its keep, the Sky Terrace. The girl, alert and aware, struck a defensive pose and quickly scanned her surroundings. Hup, hup. She held her breath and surveyed the terrace. Prior to the assault, the girl's party had received intelligence that the Sky's terrace was unguarded, and that the object of their pursuit was scheduled in the terrace. Inheritor of the fabled path down Menacraft and heiress to the throne. Reveal yourself, Princess Selfine Rosenheide. You know there's no escaping from this. The girl's shout reverberated through the empty terrace. There was no response to the girl's command, but she maintained her guard. Despite her appearance, the girl was an experienced hunter. She moved towards the center of the Sky Terrace, her short stature producing silent steps, precise without waste. She has to be here, somewhere. With nothing in sight, the girl began to question the credibility of her intel. Doubt overtook her, and she put her hand to her right ear and spoke out loud. Hey, Sion, can you hear me? If you can hear me, respond. I guess she's still preoccupied. Our intel was wrong. The target's not here. Nobody's here. The girl relaxed her guard and took a long, deep breath. The girl proceeded further into the Sky Terrace towards the balcony. There was a solid wood dining table at the center of the balcony which overlooked the castle town below. A beautiful embroidery was draped over the table. There were several large dining chairs pushed underneath, each constructed from solid wood and handcrafted with impeccable detail. The table and all its amenities were works of art. Every object, from the dining table to the decorations strategically placed throughout the Sky Terrace, screamed of wealth. Perhaps, overcome with envy, the girl proceeded to correct the toppled dining chair at the head of the table and nonchalantly plopped herself into the seat. A strange sensation shot through her small frame, a sensation that could only be described as one of grandeur. At the head of the table, overlooking the castle town below, sat the girl, her upbringing a complete contrast to the seat's previous occupants. The absurdity of it delighted her. Slam! The uncouth commoner placed her boots on the now soiled, embroidery-covered table, lounging back in the dining chair, and relaxed her eyes. Whose seat was the girl sitting in? Who could be so fortunate enough to be born into such privilege, to be allowed a seat so grand? These trivial thoughts bounced around in the girl's mind. The owner of the chair was of little significance, because they had since abandoned the chair, fleeing in fear for their life as the castle came under siege. Royalty. If I could eat it on the table like this every day, I'd feel right and royal too. The girl peered down into the castle town from the balcony and saw the streets engulfed in flames. Beautiful. The town's just glowing. After her sarcastic soliloquy, the girl noticed something as she left her seat. Another girl stood at the entrance from where the first had entered. Mistress Marie. The girl addressed as Marie responded to her subordinate's greeting with her special gesture of acknowledgement, an impassive wave of the hand. You enjoy sitting seat, Coco? Asked Marie of her compatriot Coco in a deadpan, almost intelligible manner of speech. Oh, not at all, mistress. Mistress Marie never appears unnerved by anything we do. Coco silently thought to herself. Coco's compatriot apparent Marie appeared no older than Coco herself, graced with a youthful look but stunted with a child's height. While Coco appeared overly brilliant, Marie appeared to exude an aura of harmlessness at first glance. However, her foes were also deceived by her aura of harmlessness. The hem of Marie's cloak was dyed from black to damp crimson with her victim's blood. I'm surprised you made it up here without tearing the hem. Marie tilted her head at Coco's comment, puzzled. An ethereal question mark seemed to float over her head. Coco made no sense. Why ruin a good cloak? No reason, no rush. No rush? If you didn't notice, everything's on fire. That's plenty of reason to rush. Thick smoke and stench of blood polluted the air. Shrieks and explosions echoed throughout Rosenheide Castle. I don't know. Even though Marie was at the center of destruction, she was deaf to the orchestra of oblivion in the background. Task near completion. No rush. You do have a point, but... Coco was at a loss for words, defeated by Marie's simple retort. Target where? Oh, right, the target. Well, she's not here. I guess Sion was misinformed. Sion reliable. Even Sion wrong. We obey sister's orders. You mean orders. Orders. This was normal. Marie often communicated through expressions and gestures rather than words. Marie's mannerisms were simple, frank, and left little room for interpretation. Where else could the target be? I'm pretty sure we made a thorough sweep. Plan B. Search and destroy. Ugh, this'll take a while. I'm gonna go crazy from searching this whole keep. Funny. Coco made a distraught face at the thought of Plan B, a sight that entertained Marie. Marie took slight joy in seeing Coco's distraught expression. Sure, laugh it up. Plan B it is. Let's split up and do a thorough check of the east and west wings. I'll take the east wing. Blink. What's wrong? Recall shadow soldiers for escort? I'll be fine without them. My 150 shadow soldiers have already decimated most of Rosenheide's warriors, so I'm not counting on encountering anyone. What's the matter, mistress? Don't let overconfidence cloud your judgment, stated Marie in a soft voice, her words connected and well-formed. Everything's gone according to the sister's design so far, but you may ultimately need those 150 shade soldiers. Understood, stuttered Coco, standing straight up like a student before a teacher. It's never bad to expect the unexpected, that's all I meant. Scary. I didn't expect to hear a safety lecture coming from her. Bystanders could never comprehend the force behind Marie's change in speech. Marie would speak more plainly about things she felt more strongly about, a difficult task for someone with a speech impediment. Logical, seeing that she only just recently began remembering her vocabulary. Even with her limited vocabulary and lack of situational awareness, Marie is in no way unintelligent. Coco, Marie's subordinate and partner, understood this. As they split up, a voice rang out in Coco's right ear. Coco, can you hear me? Oh, Sion, yes, I can hear you. How are things on your end? They're all dead yet? I flooded and sealed the first, second, and third floors with my mana, so yeah, they're all dead. Unless the reinforcements start raining from the sky, there's no way for them to breach the gate to the keep. Get a load of this. I just finished offing these two guards, right? Seriously, they were total pushovers. I think I'd get more of a thrill from killing the snoozers in my sleep. Says the person who volunteered to guard the rear. If you wanted action, you should have taken the lead. So how are things on your end? Fine, change the topic. That reminds me, you've got some explaining to do, Sion. You said that the princess was in the Sky Terrace, but she's not here. Huh? She has to be there. If you've checked the balcony already, then scour the place until you find her. I know that already, alright? I'm gonna be sore from all this tomorrow. A thorough sweep of the terrace won't kill you, young'un. Says you, Sion. Why don't you come up here instead? Stop wasting time and get going, Coco. Finish this already. Lay off, bitch. I gotta admit, knocking this nation off the foundation took a lot less effort than I imagined. I know what you mean. The indestructible reputation of the Ruxenhide just didn't live up to reality. Some symbol of the Manicraft's alliance, huh? The fact that Mistress Milano took an active role in the attack probably had a lot to do with how easy it was. If I had to guess, no, who cares? The mistress is so unorthodox, I have no idea what she is thinking doing this. Have some faith, Sion. It's not like Mistress Milano could have done this on her own without us. Actually, I personally think she could have single-handedly destroyed Ruxenhide without us. If I had to describe the mistress in one word, it would be shrewd. You've got a point. All right then. I'm going to secure the seal and seal the remaining floors now. I hope you find the target soon. Sion out. Coco out. Mistress Marie and Sion make everything sound so simple. Am I the only one who's feeling a little worried now? Killjoys, the both of them. I was doing just fine without them, too. As Coco turned to make her way back to the Sky Terrace, a flash of light shot out of the corner of the east wing. Coco reacted a moment too late. The head of Coco's staff was sliced clean off. My staff? Coco's staff was made from a lightweight alloy. Not especially known for its durability, but still metallic. The edge of a common sword might nick it, but anything shorter wouldn't even leave a mark. Coco's eyes were focused on the weapon's tip as it passed by her head, digging its way into the stone wall before coming into a full stop. An invisible knife? An ice dagger? A Manicraft knife? Coco thought through the possibilities. Whatever type it was, she realized assessing her assailant took precedence. Who goes there? Show yourself! Out from the darkness and into the light emerged yet another girl. A servant to the royals, Coco thought. She wore a purple cloak over a tricolor tunic, both made from fine silk. However, what immediately drew Coco's attention was not the quality of the girl's clothes, but the crest which shimmered around the collar of her cloak. The crest represented her rank in the Manicrafters' alliance. A dual crafter. The fact that the girl couldn't have been older than 20 shocked Coco more than the translucent knife that had been flung at her. Ritona Rigidvasta. Oh my gosh. Coco didn't know it, but Ritona was royal guardian to the Princess Selphine. Where were you hiding this whole time? What are you after? What do you seek, milady? Asked Ritona, having intentionally ignored Coco's question, knowing that she would not receive a satisfactory reply. Ritona concluded that learning any information regarding the enemy's objective was of her utmost importance. Seek, milady? You've got it all wrong. Listen, we haven't got a plan. We're only here to brighten Ruxenhide up, literally. Now, whether we decide to set you on fire is completely up to us. Got it? You're all at our mercy. We're in control now. If you want to live, then you'd better liven up and tell us everything we want to know. If you don't talk, I'll kill you. Simple as that. Very well. And judging by your attire, I'm going to guess that you're a servant around here, right? You wouldn't happen to know where Selphine is, would you? I do know where she is. You do? Great. Let's do this then. You tell me where she is, and I promise to spare you. You will. And if I refuse? Well, obviously, if you don't tell me, then I'll kill you. Duh. Aren't my demands pretty simple and motivational? Are you trying to get on my bad side or something? Has the smoke gotten to your head? Is your brain too fried to comprehend the situation here? I'm starting to lose my patience with you. The next thing out of your mouth better be Selphine's location or Princess. What? You shall address my lady as Princess Selphine, you disrespectful child. The inferno blazing in Ratona's eyes melted away her cool and collected demeanor. I do not know what it is you seek to gain from committing regicide. But you shall submit yourself before common courtesy and address the Princess of Rugenhide by her proper title. Your utter disregard for Milady's official title is evidence enough of your lack of morality. Huh? The time for talk is over. Duel me. That is the only way you imbeciles know how to conduct yourselves. You will learn common courtesy after I've thoroughly disciplined you. Didn't you hear a single word I said? You think you can duel me? You think you can beat me? Are you out of your mind? Who cares if you're a duel crafter? You can't beat me. You stupid monocrafter rank in the Alliance doesn't mean a damn where I'm from. On guard! In an instant, both manacrafters began gathering their purified mana. Whoa! Two ethereal orbs of light slowly materialized and revolved around Ratona, causing Coco to stare in awe. They began augmenting their mana with the surrounding mana, preparing for battlecraft. Gradually, a torrential mix of colored mana began resolving around Ratona. Ratona had initiated the incantation interval, which gathers together both colored and purified mana. This resulted in an already overwhelming display of her mastery of Pyro and Terra Manacraft. Or so Coco had originally thought. What materialized from Ratona's extravagant display of colored and purified mana was a translucent bladed weapon, which most Pyro and Terra dual crafters can create if they are inclined to melee attacks. You got my hopes up with that pretty light show, and that sword's all you've got to show for it? However, if it was no ordinary blade. It's a glass sword! You're out of your mind! What of it? You are nothing but a glass crafter. Do you have a death wish or something? You really think you can defeat me with that brittle blade? Enough chatter, child. Let us commence our duel. You just keep it up. Call me child one more time. I dare you. I double dare you. You think you can stop me, glass crafter? Is that what you think? Well, you're dead wrong. Crack, crack. As Coco concluded her declaration, she slammed the tip of her staff twice into the ground, causing a glowing triangle to emerge at the base of Ratona's feet. She's casting a ranged manacraft instead of engaging me in melee. I'll make your passing as painful as possible. Arise. Triangle incineration! Silence covered the east wing, followed by a pillar of fire shooting from the glowing triangle to the ceiling. Sluggish. Ratona escaped the trap, landing squarely behind Coco while running the tip of the sword along her back. Coco reacted in an instant, leaning forward while kicking hard at the ground to move away from Ratona. After landing at a safe distance, Coco quickly assessed her wound, but... Where is it? What the... The wound was nowhere to be seen. The agonizing sensation of sharp glass carving through her back gradually dulled and dissipated. How did you... Coco realized then that the wound had vanished. At first glance, Ratona's sword would only appear to be made from glass, but it was in fact a lethal weapon of unusual craft. This glass sword is actually crafted from Transidian ore. It's often mistaken for plain glass. A Transidian sword? An ore capable of creating the sharpest edge known to humankind. It really did. But it's almost impossible to forge. Refining the ore without breaking it is impossible. But it can be done. My mastery of pyre and terra manacraft allow for some creation of Transidian weapons, though it takes some time. Why would you bother crafting a sword out of Transidian at all? Don't you think forging a sword out of alloy would have been easier? What difference does the material make so long as the resulting edged weapon serves its purpose? That's your reason for crafting some weird double-edged weapon? And in fact, why are you even dueling me with a sword? It makes no sense. You're a little slow in the uptake, aren't you? My battlecraft forte is in melee combat. Ratona leapt in an instant. Coco knew she would be outmatched in melee combat, so she tried to gain distance over Ratona. Arise, my shadow soldiers! Coco slammed the tip of her staff into the ground once more. The shadow from the staff stretched to the nearest wall, from whence shadowy warriors began to emerge. Coco summoned forth 4 of her shadow soldiers. They quickly surrounded and trapped Ratona, leaving no room to escape. This girl can summon shadow soldiers? Ugh. The very same ones that attacked our castle? Be careful, she's a slippery one. Cut her down before she uses that sword on you. And make sure she doesn't come anywhere near me. Coco raised her staff again, spreading a glowing wave of mana into the air. The glowing halo of mana wafted towards the encircled the 4 shadow soldiers. May my wisdom of pyro and terracraft be in unbreakable chains. Slam! Coco's staff made contact with the ground once more, and the halo of mana materialized into a steel chain. How can she create and manipulate that chain from a distance? I need to steal her movements. With a single stroke of her finger, Coco's shadow soldiers attempted to contain and maim Ratona. Regardless of her entrapment, she continued to bob and weave between the countless swings of the shadow soldiers and ethereal longswords. I've got her now! Clink, clink! Coco's steel chain fell over the shadow soldiers, and they used it to bind and trap Ratona. There's no escape this time. I'm gonna enjoy watching you die. Coco and the shadow soldiers closed in on the now chained Ratona, clasping hands to one another in the shape of a pentagram. And then... Arise! Coco's staff and the shadow soldier's black sword simultaneously struck the ground at 5 points. From those 5 points, a glowing pentagram formed on the ground where Ratona stood. Pentagram incineration! Another pillar shot towards the ceiling in a flash, while the triangle was scorched into the stone ceiling from Coco's first attack. This attack punched a pentagram-shaped hole straight through the ceiling, revealing a full moon floating in the night sky. Woohoo! I burned that bitch to a crisp. What's the matter with you all? It's time to celebrate? Coco's shadow soldiers had ceased to respond to their master's beckoning, throwing Coco into confusion. Never forget this sensation. For the sensation surpasses that of steel, spoke a voice as Coco's shadow soldiers dispersed. Yet again, Ratona had escaped Coco's trap and made her way around to Coco's back. Coco was once more at Ratona's mercy. as she now found herself with the tip of the Transidian sword pressed against her neck. Even when lightly pressed against her skin, the sensation of flesh being slowly flayed was evident from Coco's grimace. That's not fair. Glass can't cut through steel, it just can't. Something about you doesn't add up. You're skilled in conventional combative manacraft, but those skills are unsuited for it. Those very skills are unsuited for it. Your first attack was powerful enough to scorch stone, and your second attack far surpassed the first, blasting straight through the mortar. But the incantation intervals for both manacrafts was too costly. I could have defeated you easily in the time you took twice. Thus, your ranged manacraft was insufficient in a duel that called for ranged. I don't need your stupid lecture. Arg. Coco clung desperately to her staff, bearing the immense pain of Ratona's Transidian sword against her neck. Why, when I was so close to achieving our objective, did I encounter this? Very well. Your life is in my hands, but I do not wish to spill your blood. I detest using force as a means of resolution. I only desire dialogue to end this needless bloodshed. The pain Coco felt from the sword diminished. Dialogue! Coco reacted to Ratona's ultimatum with disgust. But in an instant... You're something else, you know that? Coco reached a conclusion regarding her opponent. She realized that Ratona would ultimately choose not to kill her, which brought her to dark delight. You're a riot! Coco sneered and lunged the tip of her staff down towards Ratona's foot. What kind of idiot would want dialogue with the people who massacred her people? Oh, I know who would. You! Indeed. Compassion had no place on the battlefield, even from a citizen of a kingdom renowned for pursuing pacifism. Even Ratona was well aware of this paradox. She knew she could be forced to take her foe's head. Ratona resisted, even struggled against the impulse to kill Coco. It was this very impulse that set Coco and Ratona apart. Coco was capable of committing murder without a hint of hesitation. You cannot defeat me, child. Your provocations fall on deaf ears. The only idiot here is the one who's still struggling when there's a sword pressed against their throat. Ratona struggled against the concept of executing the child. She even struggled against the concept of the child committing mass murder without a shred of hesitance. The concept of child soldiers was foreign to Ratona, who didn't know how fortunate she was to be born and raised in such a peaceful kingdom. To Coco, Ratona's mercy was a childish ideal to pursue on the battlefield. It was kill or be killed. It feels like I'm talking to a wall. Your mercy makes no sense to me. Do you know how many of your people I've slaughtered tonight? And you want to settle this peacefully through dialogue? How naive can you be? Is it so wrong to take a life if it means protecting someone you can't live without? Well, is it so wrong? We're not so different, you and I. I know you'd kill to protect your precious princess. Ratona gave no retort. She was apprehensive at the very aspect of agreeing with Coco's creed. It wasn't like Ratona to be rattled by words so. In fact, Ratona was shocked into speechlessness, followed by a disquieting silence that befell the chamber. Ratona had never let an opponent's words affect her to the point of speechlessness. The unnatural silence that filled the air felt almost organic, as if produced to conceal a shadow which found itself directly behind Ratona. Craft Crusher! Ratona's Transidian sword, reliable through her duel, was suddenly reduced to microscopic fragments. My sword! It shattered from mana instability. I should have been able to detect this. Case in point. This is my faithful partner, Mistress Marie. We'd kill to protect each other. Marie greeted Ratona with her signature hand wave. Create more shadow soldiers yet? I will now. I warned you that you would need those 150 shadow soldiers. Create sturdier shadow soldiers. I shall, Mistress Marie. What did you do to my sword? Broke it with Craft Crusher. You can't do that. Manacraft destabilization and nullification, but how? It should be an impossible feat. Normally, a great deal of time and mana would be dedicated to such a thing. Marie's ability allows her to bypass that altogether. I wouldn't try to understand how Mistress's ability came to be. You've got more important things to worry about. Just know that the incantation interval doesn't apply to any of the Mistress's Manacraft, but for the rest of us, it does. That just can't be true. It's impossible. Rotona ignored Coco's advice and tried to make sense of it. Despite Coco's firepower, the incantation interval required for each cast left her at a disadvantage when dueling. However, Coco's partner ensures absolute defense. They're the perfect sword and shield. The tables had turned for Rotona. Because of the time she spent demanding Coco's surrender, Rotona's pursuit for compassion had betrayed her in turn. Forgive me, my lady. Stay low to the ground. Okay. With a wave of Rotona's hand, the hidden glass wall in front of the chamber's gable fractured, then shattered. The sound of glass fragments was all that was audible within the chamber, as light reflected off the glass and illuminated the east wing. Princess Selphine, who had been hidden the whole time, stepped out from the gable and into the building light. It's really Selphine! Coco immediately raised her staff and began casting an offensive Manacraft. However, Rotona had already reached Selphine's side by the time Coco raised her staff. Speedy. Why is the mana around here stirring so restlessly? Incantation interval? Wait, why is she even bothering to use Battlecraft? 1,000 pardons, milady, but please close your eyes, just for a brief moment. Wind slowly gathered into a raging vortex, enveloping both Rotona and Selphine. Coco, get away from there now! The east wing was illuminated with blinding bright light once more. It wasn't the Transidian Battlecraft she cast before. The light dispersed, revealing everything once again except for... Mistress! What happened? What? What happened? Where did they go? They vanished into thin air.